Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nisse and today I built this little thingy here. And it is of course for the wildebeest, both the black and the blue one. Since I thought like kids doesn't care about subspecies that much. However, I made it possible to have them both together and aside. If you want to learn about them and know how I build all of this, then please keep watching. And this will not be the last episode in here, of course, but it will be the last one, which will be a part of the old farmhouse, which is the original thing. As I mentioned last time, this will be very much like childhood dream. I do not condone backyard zoos overall. I know some of them does a real good job at a lot of things, but a lot of countries don't keep an eye on backyard zoos the way they do normal zoos, and therefore I don't like that part of it. However, this is more about what I wished I could have done as a child and really wanted to. I didn't want to be a princess. I didn't want to be a fireman. I just wanted to have a farm on the countryside and all of the animals I wanted. So that's what we're going with here. I just want to clarify that once again because I don't want to give anyone the idea that I actually condone backyard zoos. Again, some of them are doing a wonderful job, but clearly not all of them. And we all have seen the terrible stories from some places around the world. However, today we're gonna take a old staple, which could be for horses, cows, or even pigs. And I think the design I went for here would be most suited for pigs. However, they can, as you know, a lot of animals can be the same place and be happy about that. So it's kind of a way where I take the old staple and take some of the features that was in here already. Like in historical old forms would be here, and then I like go in and divide it up differently, reuse some of the elements. Here you can see I used the concrete in the bottom here, which will make sure that the manure and such don't get out, and it will also give some extra protections between the farmers and the animals. And then I will go in and later change it up a little bit. For instance, that the wildebeest lives in these giant groups, so they need more space. So for instance, here originally there would have been more animals per square feet or a square meter. But at the same time, we will also try to make the building a little bigger to make sure we have room for all. At the same time, we will also be aware of the fact that we have two kinds of wildebeest in here, therefore two male wildebeest, and we want them to breed with the right one. So I wanted to make sure that we would be able to separate the herds during the mating season, and at the same time also separate individuals that need to be separated. For instance, new individuals to the flock that need to be introduced slowly. Or injured animals, or animals that are with the small calves. So therefore I make these two bigger parts, these two bigger enclosures, and then one smaller one that is more for the isolation part of it. And then I open them up because right now we are not in the breeding season, so they can all work together or live together at this point. So they will run free together, but you will see a clear divide where you would be able to split up the habitats. And now it's time we go a little outside of my little childhood fantasy here and look at the actual animals and who they are, what they are, and how they work more specifically. That is, of course, the black and the blue wildebeest. I will mention them in order as I do normally when I talk about multiple animals. So I will try to go black, blue with all informations, both because that's the order we got them into the game, and I think it will help clarify for people if I accidentally don't mention which one I'm talking about. I will also try to clarify if any information is for all wildebeest. I will try to specify all wildebeest. But as you know me, if you watch a lot of my videos, sometimes I just talk and forget everything. So it's just, yeah, I gotta do my best, and I hope you will enjoy it anyway. But wildebeest overall are these antelopes that are really massive build and looks very much more like a cow than a what we normally picture a antelope. They are thicker, both their leg thickness, but also their entire body thickness, and they have these elongated faces and these really massive horns that aren't like these small, discreet ones some antelopes have. No. They need these big bull horns. They normally are bendy and narrower in the end than they are for the majority. They are, however, placed very, very different on the two individuals. For the black wildebeest, they are placed on top in these kind of flat placements that goes down to the side and then bend forward and then bend upwards. Where for the blue wildebeest, it is more like placed still, especially for the males, flat on the head, goes straight outwards and then bends diagonal forward upwards in one go. So if you had the horn on its own, it would be more like a half circle for the blue one, where on the black one it would have these bent multiple in multiple directions. I will also just mention then with cows in captivity, normally with especially milking cows, but all kind of cows in captivity, normally you don't see the horns, but a lot of normal cows, subspecies we have in captivity or races, do actually have horn natively. But the thing is, when they are very, very young, we cut them off and then burn the horn. Yes, it will hurt the animal a little bit, but if you do a good job, you only touch the horn, and the horn is the same material as nails or hair. So the horn itself can't feel anything. Of course, it gets a little hot, but if you don't touch the skin of the cow, they or the calf, they do not feel the burn. They will just feel like it's hot. Like when we straighten our hair with a straightening iron, we can feel the hotness, but it doesn't burn us if we do a good job. The reason why I mentioned this is just if you actually wanted these in your backyard, this way you would probably do the same. However, I haven't found anything about anyone who actually does that. If you like have them for the meat, or if you have them for whatever reason, with it zoos are to show them up how they look in nature, so you wouldn't. But I really want to know if you know anywhere where they remove the horns and maybe have a picture of how it looks. I would really love to see that. So comment section below, of course. The color of the two wildebeest are also different, where the black one is not black, but it have this dark brown color, more like a warm tone color, and the blue one have this bluish gray color that's more like a cold tone color. But they also have some other differences that I really haven't seen. For instance, the black wildebeest weigh from 110 to 157 kilos, 220 to 314 pounds, and the blue one weighs 260 kilos to 219 kilos. This would be around 520 pounds to yeah, I missed it there. 580 pounds. So the blue wildebeest actually weigh more than the double of the black one. However, the height isn't that different, where the black one height is from 106 to 121 centimeters. The blue one is just a little smidge taller, 115 to 145. So it's roughly like 10 to 30 centimeters taller, which isn't that much. The length of them, on the other hand, is completely the same. Well, not really. The shortest is the same for both of them, 170. However, the longest one for the black wildebeest is 220, where it's 20 centimeters more for the blue wildebeest. The 20 centimeters difference would be around 8 inches. What I find very interesting, though, is the fact that they both can run up to 80 kilometers per hour, which, again, I'm not sure what that is in mile. I'm sorry about that. But it's really telling that you have a one that is a little bit bigger, but much heavier. Heavier but same size would normally be either that they are fat or they have a lot of muscle. In this case, they are clearly not fat, so it is muscle, but they can still only run the same. The lifespan is also roughly the same, around 20 years, but the population clearly isn't. The black one, the first one we got in the game, only have 18,000 individuals. Total population, that means both zoos and in the wild, where the blue one have 1,550,000 individuals at this point. Keep in mind that the blue one is much more common in zoos worldwide, so when you count for all of them, it will of course show a difference. These numbers also make a lot of sense when you look on where they live, where the black wildebeest live in South Africa. It's also been introduced in Lesotho, Namibia, and Swaziland. However, originally only from South America, where when we look at the blue one, it's both from Angola, Botswana, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Swaziland, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. So already there we have a bigger area. And they don't even live in the same biomes, where both of them live on the grassland areas. Only the blue one lives on the savanna, and they also live in woodlands, where the black one prefers more to have a thicker forest or the scrublands. I know these habitats or these biomes sound very similar, but there are small differences. For instance, in a forest that's more closely planted than a woodland, it's a good thing to be a little smaller and easier on your legs. For climate zones, they both live in the tropical one, but only the black one live in the temperate ones, where the blue wildebeest also live in the arid one, which are drier and is basically more deserty. So therefore, the black one clearly likes these a little bit more colder areas, where the blue one are made for these dry spells of the years, where they are more built to withstand a lack of water or similar lack of plants and such. When we talk about the wildebeest, there's actually a really funny difference between these lifestyles. Again, they come from where they live. Basically, where the black wildebeest lives in these more lush areas, so they can easily settle down without issues. This is something the males often do in these bachelor herds. Will consist of young males, older males, and then there will be some territorial bulls that will be more like territorial, of course. But these will be stationary, so they will stay in the same area. And then the female herds, which is of course only adult females and their offspring, will then pass through from time to time, and within that period where they overlap, they will mate. The Blue wildebeest, on the other hand, do also move around, but they do it very, very differently. They first of all have these massive group and numbers, and they aren't specified here, but it is the biggest groups meetups over all antelope species in the world. This is because they all need to go the same way every year. They need to find food, they need to find water, and especially in some periods of the year, it will be more scarce than other, especially in the Serengeti Masai Mara, which is a place in Kenya and Tanzania, where it is the biggest concentration of large mammals over the entire world. It's the biggest concentration. So, of course, you will also have other mammals that aren't plant eaters, of course, but you will have these massive plant eaters, and even bigger than the wildebeest, but also smaller than the wildebeest. And they will eat everything there is, so therefore they will all need to search for food at the same time, so they will move in these giant herds. However, if a alpha male are lucky enough to get his own herd with about a few females, this would be up to about 10 individuals, and can find a place for themselves with food and water through the entire year, they will prefer to settle down and stay there. But it doesn't happen that often, since there is a lot of other animals that want the same food. But if it's possible, they will prefer to do it this way, which will remind you more of the black wildebeest life habits. So here you can clearly see the divide in the area they live in really splits their behavior. In the 19th century, the black wildebeest were nearly extinct, but today their numbers are better. However, their main issue today is both theirs and our fault. Their main issue today is interspecies relations with the blue wildebeest, so they will mate together and the offspring won't be have clear genetic one or the other, so they make these mixed species that we also have seen with the bears, especially brown bears, for instance. Again, is this good or bad? We get this hybrid wildebeest that will become maybe over time a new subspecies of wildebeest, but it hurts the numbers of the black wildebeest very, very much at the same time. This doesn't only occur in the wild. Again, in the wild here, they have some territory overlapping, but they also have most of it far apart from each other. So most of this interbreeding is in zoos and other places where you have them in captivity. That's also why here in the beginning of the video, I said that I would want them to be able to be split apart through mating season, even though the black one can mate through the year, but the blue one mate through the year, but the black don't. So for this period in captivity, you can split them apart. However, subspecies aren't really something we talked about for hundreds and hundreds a year, and it's a new thing. So therefore, a lot of animals in zoos have these hybrid genetics and therefore aren't full pure breed. And this will of course hurt the black wildebeest more than the blue one, since the numbers of the blue are so massive. However, the blue one therefore also have some completely different issues. Here we run into very much human-related things once again, because when they need to move so much around, they need to be able to do so. And when we build a road, we build a city, we do not really plan for the animals to once a year or twice a year move right through it. So we don't give them that opportunity, and therefore they need to find new ways. Again, this isn't a issue today with such big numbers, but it can be so over time. However, at this point, both of the animals, the blue and the black wildebeest, are at this point, according to the IUCN Red List, listed as least concern, which means we don't need to be too afraid for it, but it can happen. But thankfully, nowadays we know much more than we used to, so in the future we can do lots to protect the animals for the future. However, even though it isn't like something we need right now, we can always work to better their living conditions in the future. I know I talked way too much, but enjoy the cinematics. Okay, guys, it seems like that's all for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. And as always, guys, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. Really hope to see you again. Either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys.